Hi everyone, this is Debbie from Project 39 Mini Albums, and I want to show you a chipboard recipe book I made. And basically I made it from scraps left over from a bigger project, and that project I will show you in a couple of days. But in the meantime, I made this quick book, and as I was making it, I was thinking this would be a great stocking stuffer or a gift to give at a bridal shower, or just a nice memento to give to people in your family that keep asking for some of your favorite recipes. So obviously it is a recipe book, and it is using the What's Cooking paper that's exclusive to Country Craft Creations. You can only get this paper online from Country Craft Creations, and I'll put the link in the description box below. It really is a fabulous paper with the retro kitchen themes, and it's got a bunch of cute little tags and cut aparts that come with it. So anyhow, I just used leftover paper, and I used chipboard, and if you stay tuned at the end of this walkthrough, the tutorial will be right behind it. So this is 7.5 by 5.5. The pages are 5 by 7, which would be great if you have recipe cards. You could either attach them to the pages or just punch a hole in them. So let me just take you in. So there's the cover, and I used some letters from my stash. I did glue them down onto that mint green paper, and then bordered it with white and red. And I used these rings. You know, you can get them usually in stitchery departments of yarn stores. So the rings I used are, I think, 1.25 inches. This is 1.5 inches, which would be even better. But I only had one of those, so I couldn't use it. So very simple. Take it inside, and there's plain area here. You can use that to put measurements in, or put a photograph, or just add a nice little note to the recipient. These are the recipe cards that coordinate with the What's Cooking paper line. I think you get 6 to a sheet, and it's $1 a sheet, so it's really fabulous, and it's a great retro theme. This one has the ingredients and the directions in the back. There are other ones that have ingredients and directions, so you just have to go through and see what you want. Now you can adhere some of these recipe cards right onto this, but obviously it's got to be one-sided. But if you were to, all right, so here's the next page, and I just added some scraps of paper, so again you can add a recipe to. But let's say on this one you had ingredients for a recipe, and here's the directions, so you could put them facing each other. So this is the front and back of the page. Isn't that a great design? Here's the next one. It's the lady standing in front of that old refrigerator, and I just again added some scraps. If you have newspaper cuttings of recipes, you could put those on here. So if you didn't have those in the middle, these two pages would coordinate, and you could put ingredients here and the recipe there. And there's more. I put the cherry pie towards the end, thinking that's where the dessert would be. And another thing you could do is, instead of adding recipes onto these chipboard pages, you can just use that as a divider and put holes in recipes and put them behind the dessert tab if you wanted to. And so here's the last page, and there's the back. I mean, it's really simple. So let me show you how I made it. All right, we're starting with 2 pieces 5.5 by 7.5, and 5 pieces 5 by 7. And I am going to take some acrylic paint. I have Brilliant Red, which may be a little light, but it's what I have. You can use what you want. A lot of times I start with black, but I'm not going to do black for a base today. And we're going to paint the edges of all the pieces, making sure you get the very edge of the chipboard. So we're going to go fast motion and get these all painted. Okay, so I've decided on my patterns and I laid them out according to where I'm going to put them. So I'm not going to do the covers first. I'm going to do the pages first. I just want to make sure I get into the flow, and then I'll do the covers because those will be what people see most. So here is the first page. Here's where the inside cover is going to be. And so I want to coordinate with that. So I'm going to use this piece. So I am just simply going to use my Art Glitter Designer Dries Clear Adhesive. And I'll make sure I go around the edge really well and get in the center. Good thing about this glue is it doesn't bubble up, and especially when you use it with this paper, the What's Cooking paper. I'm going to grab, so you could use a bone folder like this. I'm going to use this one just to make sure I have it all flat. And I'm looking for my baby wipe to wipe the glue off. So that is the first page. Now we're going to do second and third. So these are going to be facing each other. So this is when I start matching the patterns. So I'll just go like that. Can I get it to match anymore? No. All right, just going to turn it upside down. Add my glue. And I'm going to put these on and go in fast motion. And we'll get this part done in no time at all. Okay, now I'm going to do the covers. I'm going to go ahead and do the back inside cover. And on the covers in the chipboard album, if you wanted to, you could add a photo or that would be a good place to add measurements like 4 teaspoons equal 1 tablespoon. Or you could even put an envelope with miscellaneous recipes that you've cut out. The back, I'm going to have this on the back. Alrighty. And here's the front cover. So here's the inside, the first page. This is what we're going to put on the inside. Wait, let me make sure I got the right one. Yeah. And here's the outside. So I cut it this way because you can put something that says mom's recipes or favorite recipes or something like that on the front. You can print it on your printer and put it there. You can die cut. Country Craft Creations has a I think it's an SVG that says recipes. So that would probably be something you might want to use. So here we go. Now you can make this as big as you have rings for. So if you have the 1.5 inch rings, you probably would have less pages than if you had the 3 inch rings. So I'm going to grab my hole punch and we're going to put this together. All right, I'm going to make this template to put the holes. This is a 5 inch wide piece. It's about 3 inches tall, but that doesn't matter. You really only need an inch piece. And I'm going to put a mark at the 1 inch and the 4 inch. So I'll go 1 inch in from the edges. And then I want to go just 3/16 of an inch from the edge. So I'm going to mark 3/16 from the edge. And then I'm going to take my Wear Memory Keepers Crop-A-Dial and where that cross section is, so there's a T, I'm going to put the hole on this side of that 3/16 inch mark. Okay, so that's my template. Now I'm going to take the template and I'm going to mark on each of these exactly where that hole is. All right, and then when you go to mark the hole in the covers, this is 5 inch, this is 5.5. Just center it on here. Just make sure you have, so this is the front, and that's the back. So that's right. And then go ahead and take your hole punch and make your holes. All right, we're going to put it all together. A 1.5 inch or even a 2 inch ring would probably be best. I only have one of these, so I'm going to use this size, which looks to be 1.25 inch. So we're going to use that. So you just open it up and thread through all the elements you have to put in here. Now I'm sure you could use other kinds of rings. I wonder if you could get a large D ring that opens up It depends on how often you think you're going to open this up. If you're going to open it up often, I'd get one of these. And by the way, look in the needlecraft section or in a yarn store for those larger rings. All right, so I've got that all in. I'm going to close that up. I'm going to do the other one. And this went on without a problem. I thought it would be a little tight, but it's not. All right, I'll go in through all of the elements again, and then I'll show you what I put in here. All right, so now it opens like this. So I've already put in a recipe card. Just again, use your template to make the holes. And if you want to, you can just decorate this template and put it in somewhere in the book, or just use these as the template for where you want the holes, just so they match. So you can put in additional pieces. So if you have a recipe you cut out from a newspaper, you could just glue it onto just a piece of the decorative paper. You could put an envelope if you have a lot of recipes, add that in. And the paper doesn't have to match the page. If it does, that's fabulous. I mean, but look at how that matches anyhow. I mean, the cherries are there too. The colors are fabulous on this. And besides using red, I could have used turquoise, and I think that would have been wonderful as well. Or even a gold color. So that's what we have. Don't forget, you can also add some ribbons for a tie. You'll probably want to put it on with some kind of lobster clasp, something big that you can take off when you open this up. And thanks so much for watching this quick tutorial and walkthrough. Again, all of the items are available at countrycraftcreations.com, except for the rings, those I had in my stash. So go check that out. It's in the description box below. And please go ahead and take a second and like this video. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great day.